By the grace of God, I keep more than one phone, and for some reason, every time I come to the library, my phone just spontaneously starts shutting off and flashing and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. But my purpose is for me to make a video regarding depression. My son, Alvin, for those of you who know us really well and have an understanding of the situation involving my son, know that he is a survivor of the May 31st floods of 2013. He watched five people die, and so for that reason, he's a hero to me. He's been through so much, and he does suffer from depression. He actually is an admin in one of the depression groups on Facebook, and I'm going to tell you, my son has come such a long way. It's just amazing to watch him. I too am an overcomer of depression. I haven't suffered from it for a very, very long time. In fact, when I went through my situation, when I first had my head injury, I actually had a nervous breakdown at that point. I've never suffered from anything like that ever since. By the grace of God, I haven't had to walk the rest of my journey alone like I did at the beginning of my situation surrounding my head injury. Because when that happened, I was put on the street from court, homeless, and they didn't care, in spite of the fact that I had already been eligible to receive Social Security and other disability benefits, including those involving service-connected disabilities from the military. Not as a vet. I mean, I did throw papers, which would cause me to be that, but that's not my point here. My point is regarding depression. Depression is serious business, and we've got a lot of people that are doing things purposely to cause depression. What goes on with people is already bad enough naturally and the course of life. And so for people to just be plain mean and nasty and then to holler that they're religious really disturbs me. I pray for those people. However, you got to stop and think with regards to what their behavior is and what they're going through. What is causing them to behave that way? And so with my son, it wasn't something that he did. It was something that happened to him traumatically that caused him depression. The same had occurred with me when I went through my initial process with regards to obtaining my head injury. I had been abandoned, and for that reason, it caused me to be sad and go into depression. I haven't felt that for many, many years. By the grace of God, I learned how when I start to see the signs that trigger depression, I turn to God. I open the Bible, and I use that as a outlet and something to grab onto so that I don't go back to that type of a situation. There are so many people out here who need help, and I really, really pray for them that they get what they need as far as mental health care goes. We are at such a deficit in this country with regards to mental health care and mental health care reform. It's ridiculous, and we need to do things to help each other along the way. Even though the resources aren't there like they should be, there's things within the community that we can do in order to help those that we know are suffering from depression. My son decided to be a part of the depression group that he is an admin on Facebook, which I think is wonderful for him. However, there's other people who don't have that as an outlet. For those of you who are looking for something to find as an outlet, get up and exercise. Take a walk. Go out and get some fresh air. That'll do you so much good. That's what helped me, was getting up and exercising and seeing I was worth more than what I was doing to myself. When I finally realized and come to see the light that I was worth so much more than what I was doing and the way I was living, it changed me. And it made me want to do better for me, not just for me, but for the people that I know that love me. For those out there who don't, well, all you got to do is unfriend me or stop stalking my Facebook pages, my YouTube, my Instagram. Go find something else to do. And that's maybe part of your problem. If you've got all this hate built up, that might be the reason you're depressed. Have you thought about that? Playing the blame game can do it also. There's a difference between trying to push people to be accountable, which is what I do, and playing the blame game. Playing the blame game and say, oh, they did it, it's their fault, and I didn't do nothing wrong, I don't know. That's never going to get you anywhere. It's okay to say, hey, I want these people held accountable while you're getting your stuff together too. That's what I did. I demanded accountability while I was getting my things together, not just physically, mentally, emotionally, as well as spiritually. It took the whole package for me to get myself back on track, in spite of the obstacles these people put in front of me. Some of you people will never know what these guys did in essence of. Not to be funny, there's not enough pages on a book for me to write everything in detail as to what the system has done to abuse me and my family. But that's not even the issue. It doesn't bother me. It doesn't hurt me. That's the thing. These guys abused me so badly and so much. It come to the point where I got so used to it. When they do something to me, it doesn't even bother me anymore. That's how bad these guys abused me. In a way, it helped me heal because it helped me turn around and say, hey, wait a minute now. Enough is enough. I have to defend myself. That's when I knew I started healing. When I started telling on these people, that told me that I was giving the actions to myself to show myself and God that I was worthy. I have standards, and it was time for me to live up to those standards that I claimed to have. There was no way I was living up to them as long as I was sitting there continuing to be abused. Living in fear. I had to face that before I could break free. When I did, you want to talk about a freedom? Oh my Lord. The weight lifted off my shoulders and I feel like a whole new person. People say I don't even look the same anymore, which is a blessing for me. The only thing missing from my life is my children, my family. That's it. I have my son, but I don't have my 2 daughters. And I'm not lined up with having my husband either. That's real talk. I don't let that depress me, though. I say, okay, God says that's not for me right now. I'm just going to keep on trucking and keep on working on me. And pray. I pray every day for my daughters and for my husband that they find true repentance and true healing and a returned home. That's the truth. I don't have any depression anymore. I found things to help me pull up out of that. And that I am so grateful for. If it wasn't for God, I don't think I would have made it. In fact, I know I wouldn't have made it. So for those of you out there who think there's no hope, trust me, let me tell you something. There was a time when I didn't do anything but walk around with the shirt on my back. And I made it. I made it with a head injury and all. My back is broken. I got all these things wrong with me. But God said, I'm going to use you. And so be it. He did. And look at me now. Let that be something to grab onto. With God's love. God bless America. Have a blessed day. And back the badge.